Oh, looky here, another Mustang. Long nose, flat back, so far so Mustang. But what's this? A carbon fibre wing and a bit of a body kit. And is it just me, or is that a bit lower than a normal Mustang? Holy hell, that doesn't sound like a Mustang. That sounds like something far more European.
Because this is not a normal Mustang, this is a Shelby GT350R, the most hardcore, most track-oriented Mustang money can buy. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be a good one.
The GT350R is the last in a long line to bear the name, and while this one has nothing really to do with Shelby, the original GT350 was an incredible machine, one born of fear of dwindling sales. You see, when the original Mustang launched, it sold unbelievably well, and it kicked all kinds of ass, more than anyone was expecting. So as time went on, Ford expected their sales to drop, and they needed a bit of a gimmick to keep bums on seats.
So Ford called Carroll Shelby, the man that made the Cobra. The idea was he'd make some cool cars for the punters and then show how great they were on the circuit. Shelby said yes, and he decided that the B production class was going to be the one for the Mustang. That meant he could either modify the engine or the springs, not both.
Shelby went all engine and fitted a 306 horsepower V8 that'd get the car to 60 in less than 7 seconds and up to nearly 135 miles an hour. A hot hatch by today's standards, but much, much more than that back in the 60s. Most GT350s were made for the road, but there was a hardcore lightweight special, the GT350R.
And guess what? The new one is a modern interpretation of Shelby's original. It's light-ish, not really light, at 1,655 kilos. It's got a big Larry body kit, which will make local youths want to take lots of pictures on their camera phones. And, well, they'll want to take more when they hear the noise.
Hear that? That's coming from a 5.2 litre flat plane crank V8, which means it'll rev silly high, 8,250 RPM, and sing the song of its people to all who listen. It produces a pretty massive 526 brake horsepower and 429 pound-foot. 0 to 60 takes around 3.5 seconds, so it's fast. Really fast.
It's got magnerized dampers, jazzy anti-roll bars, stiffer springs, a set of Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 super sticky tyres on each corner. There are no rear seats, no aircon as standard, and no carpet in the boot. Basically, if something doesn't need to be here, it isn't. That said, you can option things back in if you want them, so I'm very grateful for the aircon today.
Each corner also gets a carbon fibre wheel, which saves 6.9 kilos over an equivalent aluminium wheel. That's less unsprung weight, and that's a good thing.
Right, Mustang, show me what you got. First things first, the manual gearbox. Really smooth, really lovely. The clutch, a little bit sticky, tiny bit long, but the action, once you get used to it, really, really nice. It's very forceful, but it suits the car. The shift itself is notchy, it's sporty, it feels pretty damn good. The brakes, oh, they work really rather nicely. They're easy to modulate, you know what you're doing, you can threshold brake really nice and easily, nothing will lock up, you're all good. The surprising thing is, even though this weighs nearly 1,700 kilos, it feels really light because the steering, even in track mode as run now, it's been wonderfully put together. There's a little bit of deadness at the front, a tiny little bit that I'm not hugely enamoured with, but it's a damn sight better than the standard Mustang. It's smooth, it's easy to drive, so when you're not on a racetrack, you can drive it around town quite happily and not have to worry too much about it. The suspension around here, it's nice and firm, it's nice and smooth. You can feel the circuit beneath you, you know what the car's doing. Again, it's beautifully put together. Ford went out and benchmarked this against other cars in its class, say other track-biased, sporty things with enormous engines, so you know the kind of thing they're aiming for. But they wanted it to be affordable, and it's ridiculously cheap. It's like $60,000, which is nothing. For this, the speed, the power, the feel of it is not the best in the world, but it's by no means the worst. It's super good. My favourite bit of this is the throttle response and the engine. The throttle, it's so slick, it's so smooth. It's one of those throttles you absolutely dream of. You pitch it in, squeeze it on, and then you get the noise. And it revs up to 8,250 RPM! So cornering, handling-wise, as a package, how does it work? It feels very neutral. It doesn't feel like it's going to spit me off the circuit, unless I really do something stupid. Like, yes, it'll be a big skiddy thing, you bang it into a corner and give it too much, and then the back will kick out, but it's controllable. This isn't a Mustang for big arse-out silliness. This is a Mustang for a racetrack. This wants to go around lines really quickly with a lot of noise and a lot of drama and have a lot of fun. Yeah, there are a few things I don't like. There are tacky plastics and things like that, but you know what? For the money, that doesn't matter. This is a serious bit of engineering. Serious. This will trouble a lot of very, very, very expensive things.
The Mustang GT I tried in the UK was a good car. It was entertaining, made a great noise, and auto gearbox aside, felt at home. This is another level though. It's brash, it's mean, it's fast, it's hardcore.
For the money, the Mustang GT350R is an ace deal, but sadly it's not coming to Britain, which is a shame because I think it would do really quite well, especially with that engine and the noise and the way it goes. The Mustang got really angry, and it's fantastic.